Karen's voice was a chainsaw ripping through the quiet of our cul-de-sac. Her complaints about my unapproved mailbox color echoing like a bad sitcom. By the third police visit that month, I realized this wasn't just a neighborly spat, it was war. I'd moved to Willow Creek, a sleepy suburban enclave, dreaming of backyard barbecues and friendly waves. Instead, I got Karen Whitaker, the HOA president who wielded her clipboard like a dictator's scepter. At 300 pounds, with a perm that screamed 1980s and a sneer that could curdle milk, Karen was the kind of woman who'd fine you for a blade of grass out of place. She'd waddle down the street, her floral muumuu flapping, barking orders at anyone who dared breathe outside her rules. My crime: a navy blue mailbox that didn't match her approved palette. She claimed it ruined the neighborhood's aesthetic, as if her tacky lawn gnomes were high art. It started small. A warning letter stuffed in my mailbox, typed in Comic Sans, demanding I repaint within 48 hours or face a $200 fine. I ignored it, thinking she'd move on to terrorizing someone else. Big mistake. The next week, 2 cops knocked on my door, their faces apologetic but firm, saying they'd received a trespassing complaint. Apparently, my mailbox was public property because it sat an inch past my property line. I showed them the survey map proving it was mine. They left, but Karen didn't. She escalated, calling the police for everything me dogs bark. My car parked too close to the curb. Even my recycling bin left out an hour past pickup. Each time, the cops showed up, sighed, and told me to work it out. The neighbors weren't spared either. Maria, a single mom across the street, got fined for her son's basketball hoop. Mr. Chun, a retired veteran, was cited for excessive rose bushes. Karen's reign was a masterclass in petty tyranny, and the HOA board her spineless cronies rubber-stamped every vendetta. We grumbled in private, but no one dared challenge her. She bragged about suing a former neighbor into bankruptcy over a fence dispute. I always win, she'd say, her chins wobbling with pride. By month 6, I was done. Karen's latest stunt was reporting me for illegal construction because I'd built a birdhouse in my backyard. The cops came again, this time with a warning about unpermitted structures. I snapped a photo of the birdhouse's 6-inch wooden box and asked if they were serious. They weren't, but Karen was. That night, I found her on my doorstep, smirking, saying, "You'll learn to follow rules, or you'll regret it." Her threat lit a fuse in me. If she wanted a fight, I'd give her one. I started digging. Karen's HOA was a nonprofit, meaning its records were public. I requested every document: meeting minutes, budgets, fine logs. What I found was a goldmine of corruption. Karen had funneled HOA dues into her cousin's landscaping company, which charged triple the market rate for shoddy work. She'd issued fines to undesirable neighbors code for anyone who wasn't white or wealthy while letting her buddies slide. The board's treasurer, a nervous guy named Phil, had embezzled $5,000 for a Vegas trip, with Karen's approval. It was a racket, and she was the kingpin. I rallied the neighbors. Maria brought her lawyer friend, who confirmed Karen's actions violated state and federal laws, including the Fair Housing Act, for her discriminatory fines. Mr. Chun, who dealt with bureaucracy in the military, helped me file complaints with the state's attorney general and the IRS. We held secret meetings in my garage, plotting like revolutionaries. Karen got wind of it and doubled down, sending cops to my house twice in 1 week for noise violations from our meetings. She even tried to tow my car, claiming it was abandoned The tow truck driver took one look at my perfectly parked sedan and drove off, shaking his head. The breaking point came when Karen fined me $1,000 for defamation after I posted about her on the neighborhood's private Facebook group. She called the police again, this time alleging I'd threatened her. The officer, a new guy who hadn't met Karen yet, listened to her rant about my dangerous behavior while she waved her phone, showing my post. Karen's fines are out of control. Can we talk about this? He read it, looked at her, and said, "Ma'am, this isn't a threat. It's a complaint." Her face turned purple, and she stormed off, vowing to end me. That was her last mistake. I contacted a federal attorney specializing in HOA abuse. He was thrilled Karen's paper trail was a prosecutor's dream. We filed a civil rights lawsuit, citing her discriminatory practices, and a criminal complaint for fraud and embezzlement. The IRS opened an audit on the HOA's finances, and the state launched an investigation into its governance. Karen didn't see it coming. She thought her badge as HOA president made her untouchable. The day the feds showed up, the neighborhood watched from their windows. 2 agents in suits knocked on Karen's door, her muumuu visible through the curtains as she peeked out, then slammed them shut. They didn't leave. An hour later, she emerged, red-faced, clutching a stack of papers they'd demanded. Whispers spread Karen was under investigation. Her cronies on the board started jumping ship. Phil, the treasurer, turned whistleblower to save himself, spilling every detail about their schemes. At the next HOA meeting, Karen tried to play the victim, sobbing about harassment from ungrateful neighbors. But we came prepared. Maria presented a petition, signed by 80% of the neighborhood, demanding the board's dissolution. Mr. Chen read a list of Karen's violations, his voice steady but sharp. I handed out copies of the federal complaint, complete with evidence of her cousin's inflated contracts. The room erupted. Neighbors who'd stayed silent for years shouted her down. Karen screamed, "You can't do this. I built this community." Someone yelled back, "You built a prison." She stormed out, tripping over her own lawn gnome. The aftermath was swift. The state revoked the HOA's charter for gross mismanagement. Karen and Phil faced criminal charges: fraud for her, embezzlement for him. The IRS slapped her with a tax lien for unreported income from her cousin's kickbacks. The civil rights lawsuit moved forward, with Karen named personally for damages. She tried to sell her house and flee, but no one would buy it, not with her reputation and the legal cloud over her. Last I heard, she was living in a rented condo downtown, her empire reduced to a stack of legal bills. The neighborhood changed overnight. We formed a new, informal community group. No fines, no clipboard tyrants. Maria's son put his basketball hoop back up. Mr. Chen's rose bushes bloomed brighter than ever. My navy blue mailbox still stands, a quiet middle finger to Karen's reign. Sometimes, I catch neighbors smiling at it, like it's a trophy. We'd fought a petty dictator and won, not with her tactics of fear, but with truth and unity. Karen thought she could bully us into submission, but she forgot one thing: power built on spite always crumbles. Her downfall wasn't just justicide, it was a reminder that no one, not even a self-crowned queen, is above accountability. As I sit on my porch, watching kids play without fear of fines, I feel something better than victory: peace.